Been shown about Old Trafford, the rain coming through. We know all the issues with the catering. We know that. Do they need the stadium first? Is the stadium a necessity?
No. And you know, I don't want to be negative about Manchester United because they had a terrific win in Europe the other night, and they look as though they. It's just hard to talk about the new stadium without talking about the general underperformance of the team and the fact that that team needs urgent investment, but not just urgent investment, but in sensible investment, because a lot of money has been spent on players that have been totally ineffective, which is why Manchester United are where they are. And it's hard for the owner, for the shareholder, I should say, Jim Ratcliffe, to kind of talk about ripping out what many people see as the heart and the soul of a football club, the people behind the scenes. You know about this. You know, lots of people just think they're employees, but they're people that the players relate to. They embody the spirit of the club.
And local people as well.
Exactly. You're basically sacking them, but then trying to get people excited about the new stadium by saying it's going to create jobs. Well, what about the jobs that have been lost? And the team itself, the messaging coming out of United, it's just all over the place because the team has underperformed. It needs that investment. You can't plead poverty and then suggest that everybody should get excited because you're going to spend money on a new stadium.
Darren, does it not mean a new stadium more? I mean, 100,000-seater stadium is what we're talking about. So that means more people would be in the stadium, which means more money for the club.
I'll just be brief on this one.
Yeah.
Having done this job for 25 years, I've seen a lot of teams invest money in stadia over players and continue to underperform or have to surrender players because they have to fund the stadium. I think in football, the sport comes first, the infrastructure comes second.
How does Glenn feel?
For me, it's not so much an on-field problem of having to sort that out, because the stadium's a long time away. So they will have time to kind of make the team better and perform better. I don't think they'll be spending the sums of money they've spent in the past because they've been burnt. It's been really badly invested. For me, it's the timing. It's the timing of the announcements of cutting former players' money, of cutting lunch at the training ground. And the week after you announce a £2 billion stadium, I mean, is that not a business 101 of how not to do it or how to lose the most loyal people you have?
What message does that send to players?
Players, as in what?
You've been in the dressing room.
Yeah, but the new stadium.
All of these mixed messages.
Well, I think they've got enough to deal with.
No, but you've been a player. If you're in the dressing room, what are you thinking when you see those mixed messages?
Well, I mean, there's going to be obviously a selfish excitement of the stadium, of thinking I'm going to get to play in that. But then I think it'll sit worse with people that are either local or people that have been at the club a long time, where you see staff making way. I mean, a lot of people, and I think a huge number of this Manchester United team are passengers, and they won't be there very long at all. So it won't really affect them on that mental level. But we hear like your Gary Neville's, people with a real understanding and feel for the football club. And for me, and I've said this many times before, a football club is a representation of your local community. And we've come so far away from that at the moment. And I just think like those people that are not getting their lunch, and those former players that are the people have put Manchester United, have given Manchester United the platform to be where they are today, and then to announce the new stadium a week, 2 weeks later, it just doesn't make sense. And I feel as though it's how to lose even your loyalist supporters, putting your ticket prices up when you're performing so badly. Look after the people that are most important to you. I mean, the money isn't in the people, it's in the TV rights.
Yeah, such an interesting one, because of course the game is so global now, and you know, there's that local, but also Manchester United, one of the biggest brands in world football, as well as we know the Premier League is such a global game. Really proud to coach a player like him. I'm sure very proud, many of the United fans, to support a player like him. At the start of the season, it wasn't quite like that. He was coming under a lot of criticism, but right now Bruno Fernandes is the shining light, the standout star. He's carrying them in many ways.
Yeah, he is, especially when it comes to penalties as well. But I don't think there's ever been a lack of effort from Bruno Fernandes. I think sometimes it's been channeled in the wrong way. There's no doubt that he's an exceptional player. It's just sometimes I feel as though he lets his frustrations out on the pitch, and that can be off-putting at times. I feel as though things like that should be addressed internally, in the dressing room. But look, I mean, you look at the quality he's got here from dead balls, and he's the heartbeat of the team. He's the one that doesn't stop running, that's always looking to play forward. Without him, I would worry where they were.
Yeah, he shouldn't be playing with the red on his back. He should have an S on his chest.
Oh, you are just full of things today. You're saying all the right things today. So Bruno Fernandes, sensational. And sensational gain in the scoring the hat-trick for Thursday night, yeah?
Yeah, listen, he embodies what we should see from his fight commitment. And it's interesting because I agree with Glenn. Most of his yellow cards actually come from petulance, from arguing with referees and being annoyed about decisions. But when you look at the pure football, he's an outstanding footballer. I noticed he talked about not an offer to leave the club, but he wanted to be committed because he's been part of the rebuild. I think you'll get a lot out of him if they do rebuild that side around him.
Is he captain material?
No. But you can still rebuild a team around a player and that player not be the captain.
I agree, by the way.
I would take that pressure off him.
Coaching staff, Paul?
No, not at all. No, I think he's got enough coaches working for him, hasn't he? Look, comes across really, whether they lose or win, I think he always comes across really like, you see there's a smile on the face. He's happy with his team tonight. I know he still has frustrations in games, of course, especially the first half at Arsenal. I think he was frustrated with his team, but I think they're slowly coming round to what he wants. Now, look, he's still a long way off, and he knows he's a long way off what he wants and what he eventually wants to bring to this team and this squad, but I think this competition could help him. I wasn't sure before the game if they could go on and win it. That gives you a bit of hope tonight, especially with the atmosphere. There's still some really good teams in the competition. You think of Bilbao, Lazio, somebody else I can't think. Tottenham, yeah. That
Rangers,
was, sorry.
Potentially. Rangers are in extra
Tottenham was the other team I was thinking about. So there's them three teams that they could come up, but I think they're capable of beating all three of them on the day if there's a performance like that.
21 games without a goal for Rasmus Hojlund, but what will a performance like that, getting an assist in the game, do for his confidence? I know he desperately wants a goal, Paul, but this was a positive night for him. Yeah,
it was, and he didn't look like a player tonight who was short on confidence. I think all his stuff outside the box was good. It's never normally that good, but I think it was good tonight. I think his work rate, he occupied the defenders as Ruben Amorim said, as the manager said, he occupies him. He allows that space then for Amorim to come into the game. For Xerxes to come into the game, for Garnacho to come into the game, for Fernandes to come into them spaces as well. And look, he did everything right tonight apart from score a goal. That is the only criticism you got for him, and his Manchester United centre forward, he needs to score goals. He will be judged on scoring goals. But as an all-round centre-forwards player, this player was very good. One of
the real positives, Karen, is that you felt it in the stadium. You saw it on the pitch with the players. They were all rallying around him. You heard Bruno Fernandes' comments on full time as well, saying how much he appreciates the work that Rasmus Hojlund does out there. And you could feel it from the fans as well. Everyone was urging him in the game.
We all were. And even though he won the penalty, I think there's an element in me going, I wish he'd scored it. Do you know what I mean? In the first part of the game. But he's clearly a confidence player. You know, with all this positivity, you get a better performance from it. It isn't rocket science. He's a 22-year-old. It's a big jump. It's a heavy burden to be the Manchester United centre forward. Just needs a bit of attention, love, and the right positivity, and you get a better performance out of him. And hopefully that continues now.
Manchester United into the quarterfinals of the Europa League. So let's take a look at the road to Bilbao and how it's shaping up at the moment. Remember that Manchester United and Tottenham can't face each other in this competition unless they both get to the final. So up next for United, they face Lyon and they're away first in the first leg, Paul. Looking at that, can Man United go all the way? Can they win this?
Yes, they can. I think they'll beat Lyon. And I'm saying that blind. Just seeing Lyon a 6 in the French Division. I don't think French football's that great, and I think United they've a little bit of form, haven't they? They look like a team with the confidence. They've only really got this left think about, really. And they can even think about resting players when you're going into league games for this sort of game. I think if they get, is it Bilbao they can get in the semi-final?
Yeah, Bilbao, and then the winner of Rangers or Fenerbahce, they play each other in the other quarter-final on that side. Who worries you the most out of those teams?
Bilbao worry me the most. Well, I say worry me. I still think Manchester United can beat them. I think Bilbao are probably still the best team left in the competition. I think Lazio as well a decent team. So Tottenham, I keep forgetting Tottenham, don't I? But Tottenham are a good team. But I think they're capable of beating them teams on their day. I think if they're going away in the first leg, just stay in the game like they did last week, and we've seen what happens here tonight on European nights. They can carry it to victory.
Massive Premier League games yet this season, and it's this is not a normal Manchester United, and it's in the backdrop of a lot of criticism. There's a positivity of a new stadium. We're all wondering how they're going to pay for it, but they've got to do the business on the pitch, and that was a big hurdle for them tonight.
It was a big hurdle. Are you convinced that this could potentially see them turning a corner, though?
Not yet, because I've watched Man United and I've commentated on Man United quite a few times this season. We've only got 2 wins and 7 in the Premier League. They've suffered 12 losses. The home form and the games that they've lost at home, they've lost against Palace, Bournemouth, Forest, Newcastle, Brighton, Spurs, Liverpool. Man United can't lose that many games at home. And as Martin said, they've not won 2 games back-to-back all season, which is unheard of. So, great win tonight. Swagger was back tonight. European football's going strong for them, and they need this trophy because they're miles away from any European football in terms of their league finish. So this is a competition, if they want to get back into the Champions League, it's unbelievably important for them.
They're the only side, in fact, in the Europa League that are unbeaten so far. And Bruno Fernandes as well, 41 goal involvements. He's made history now. His 24 goals and 17 assists is the most of any player in this competition. He really is, isn't he? He leads from the front.
He is, and you can't deny him that. I don't think everyone is his fan. You know, lots of former players are saying he doesn't get his foot in enough, maybe doesn't get around the pitch enough, but certainly he stood up tonight, and recently he's been doing that, getting the necessary goals. And in front of goal with the penalties, his track record for penalties is unbelievable.
When there's lots of young players who are trying to find their form, and you know what it's like being an experienced player, when so many young players are trying to find their form and trying to find their way in life when you play for a club the size of Man United. We've had it when playing for big clubs like Liverpool and Arsenal. You know, it's not easy to put those shirts on. And while these young players are struggling to get their confidence back, what you can't argue is Bruno Fernandes has been a brilliant captain this season. He's performed every single week. And I can imagine his personality. We talk about his personality on the pitch. I would imagine inside the dressing room, I reckon he's really important.
We need more Bruno, says Ruben Amorim. Where would they be without his influence and numbers, do you think?
They'd be a lot worse off, wouldn't they? People have their opinions on Bruno. I think that's purely historically as a captain at Man United. Doesn't fit the mould, if you like. But talent-wise, he's by far the best player the football club's got. One of the more talented ones in the Premier League, and he produces goals. And is, like they say, Man United would be probably 15 points less this season without Bruno Fernandes.
And his durability, Nicky, I think since he made his debut, he's only been unavailable for 8 games.
Yeah, he's always available. He doesn't duck games. He's never hardly ever injured. So you've got to give him a lot of credit for that. He's available for games all the time, and when a club's going bad, which Man United obviously is, it's very easy for certain players to duck it with a little niggle here and a little niggle there. People will say that they don't. Trust me, players do when it goes bad. He doesn't, and I think he deserves a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, and I look at players. I look at how hard it is to play for Manchester United in recent years. There's very, very few players that spring to mind that you think, yeah, the player that they signed is the same or got better. Everybody regresses in a red shirt at the moment. Everybody. And the telltale sign is when they leave, they all of a sudden grow into a great player again. You know, you look at the McTominays and the Wan-Bissakas and the Antonys and the Rashfords and everybody else that have just left in recent months. They're all playing far better than when they were at Manchester United. I just wonder if Bruno Fernandes was in a top team, let's say playing for Liverpool or playing for Manchester City over the last week, how good could this guy be? He's putting up the numbers right up in the mix of the top players in the Premier League.
Ruben Amorim claims that Bruno Fernandes' desire to win can lead him to distrust his teammates. Ruben Amorim believes Bruno Fernandes' intense desire to win can lead to him distrusting his teammates in a revealing appraisal of the Manchester United skipper after his latest Old Trafford heroics. The Portuguese scored a hat-trick as the Red Devils defeated La Liga outfit Real Sociedad 4-1 to progress to the Europa League quarter-final 5-2 on aggregate. The competition provides United with their only hope of qualifying for Europe next season amid a dismal league campaign that sees the side languishing in the bottom half of the table. Fernandes, who has been a divisive figure among the fan base in recent years, has been United's saviour of late, contributing either a goal or assist in 6 of the Red Devils' last 8 matches. After his latest rescue act, Amorim claimed that his compatriot, who he managed at former club Sporting Lisbon, wants to win so much and that desire can result in him ignoring his teammates on the pitch. The 40-year-old also insisted that the side are motivated to help him win the titles he deserves. It is hard for a player like him sometimes, Amorim told TNT Sports. He wants to win really bad and sometimes too much. It is not a bad thing, but sometimes he doesn't trust in the teammates, but he is always there. Bruno Fernandes netted a hat-trick in Manchester United's emphatic win over Real Sociedad. The Red Devils skipper scored twice from the spot in the victory that sent United to the Europa League quarter-final. Ruben Amorim believes that Fernandes' intense desire to win can lead to him distrusting his teammates. He can play set pieces, score penalties, make transitions, and help in the last 15 minutes of the game. We need to help him win titles because he deserves it. Sometimes I need in this team someone to take the ball to the last third, so I try and use him. I am trying to help the team, not thinking about Bruno but the team. Near the box he is so dangerous. Fernandes' hat-trick came just days after former Premier League boss Harry Redknapp added his name to an ever-growing list of ex-professionals to question his talents compared with players of the club's illustrious past. There is little doubt he is the shining light in United's current crop, but amid the side's historically poor few seasons, many have doubts about the impact he would have in a fully functional competitive side. Redknapp went as far as to claim that the 30-year-old would only be fit to put out cones for the class of '92. I like the manager Ruben Amorim, but it will take years to turn Man United around, if it can be done at all. It has become a great club in name only, Redknapp told The Sun. You'd look at the United of Fergie's day and see superstars everywhere. Amorim would love just one. Bruno Fernandes is the closest, and even then no more than a place in the squad. He wouldn't have a prayer of making the team. The Red Devils will face League One outfit Lyon in the next round as they bid to secure European football next term. Who would you drop? Giggs, Scholes, Beckham, Roy Keane, Paul Ince, even Nicky Butt or Darren Fletcher? Not a chance. If Teddy Sheringham and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer struggled to get a game, Fernandes wouldn't get beyond putting the cones down and handing out bibs. United are now unbeaten in their last 6 matches in all competitions and have progressed to the last 8 of the Europa League, where they will meet League One side Lyon. Amorim's side face Leicester in the Premier League this weekend before the international break this month. Bruno Fernandes gives backing to Rasmus Hojlund after Man United striker's drought continues in Real Sociedad victory. As captain, says he is sure the goals will come. Bruno Fernandes is confident that the goals will come for Rasmus Hojlund if he continues to work as hard for the team as he did on Thursday night. Hojlund started and played the full 90 minutes as United beat Real Sociedad 4-1 at Old Trafford to win their Europa League last 16 tie 5-2 on aggregate. The striker was unable to end a run of over 20 games without a goal, missing a gilt-edged chance in the first half. However, he was very involved, winning Fernandes' first penalty and teeing up Diogo Dalot to score the fourth after a lovely bit of skill. And Fernandes, who scored a hat-trick on the night, thinks his teammate just needs to continue playing like that and the goals will come naturally. Rasmus is unlucky the guy fouls him or it is a goal, the United captain said on the spot kick won by Hojlund as he was interviewed on the pitch after the game. Bruno Fernandes showed support for Rasmus Hojlund after Man United's Europa League win. Hojlund has another frustrating outing in front of goal but also had encouraging moments.